This is the story of us running aground the first time we took our boat out sailing.
We had a sea trial the day before our closing, and it went really well. So we had moved on the boat, we had done the wire transfer, like everything was in order, except our paperwork. There was a bit of a delay because we were importing the boat from Canada. So we didn't have all our paperwork in order, it hadn't been registered yet, but Logan was ready and excited to take the boat out that first weekend we were there. And I was a bit hesitant, but he convinced me.
So rewind a little bit. During the sea trial, the previous owner had pointed out 3 certain buoys, and he said you could sail through those, and they're shallows. And then he pointed to the north end of the lake, and he said the north end is great sailing. You don't have to worry about anything. He literally said that. Anyway.
Good depth.
So we're sailing along upwind. We're doing pretty good. I passed the helm off to Andrea for her first time, but she's still real nervous. I was just trying to ease her mind and make her feel good about it all.
Well, the conditions were pretty good. I mean, it's a lake, so it was pretty flat, just a little bit of fetch. But I was still nervous because it was the first time I'd been on a boat, at the helm on a boat that big. And I was looking ahead and saw a weird wave in the middle of the lake and pointed it out to Logan.
And I was like, oh, it's fine. That's just from the powerboat that went by. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
And we're about 30 feet of water. We're cool. We got plenty.
I just passed it off as my nerves, whatever. All of a sudden, though, I see the depth starting to drop as we're getting closer to this weird wave that hasn't disappeared yet. So I scream for Logan to take the helm.
Meanwhile, the bottom's going. It went from 30 to 20 to all of a sudden I'm like, oh, we got to tack, and then mid-tack and 16, it went from 16 to 6. All of a sudden, we smashed on the rocks. Boom! The most gut-wrenching sound. We go flying because the boat goes from 6.5 knots to a dead, complete stop. It sounds like the keel is ripped off. I run down below, rip the boards up to make sure the keel hasn't been ripped off and we're not sinking. Andrea's freaking out. Oliver's wedged up in the bow, shaking.
Oh, he was shaking so bad. Poor Ollie.
So I turn on the motor and I gun it forward, and it just I gun it in reverse. Try to heel the boat with the sails, and eventually we just prayed to the great cosmos or whatever, and we're not really religious people, but anyway, a little bit shortly after, we ended up just kind of gently sailing up. The reason we're even telling this story, we didn't even want to share it. We were so ashamed we didn't film anything about it. But you can see that I am especially kind of depressed and quiet and serious because I just realized how serious of an undertaking this really was.
I think after it happened, the aftermath of it was still, you're trying to process this traumatic thing. You're still concerned about the boat. He had to dive in the water, for the first time to check the keel. It was pretty cold. You just feel so defeated and demoralized because here we are taking on this huge...
epic journey.
Yeah, and the first time out, something like this happens, you just feel so incompetent and unprepared, and it's really easy to beat yourself up for a long time, and there was a big part of me that wanted to just call it quits right there and then.
Yeah, I was tempted to.
The only thing I didn't say is while he was ripping up the floorboards, I was concerned we were gonna have to swim to shore in the middle of this big lake, and I didn't know if the dogs were gonna make it. I think we had life jackets. We were just having a casual day sail on a lake. That's what we thought.
In 10 knots of breeze.
In 10 knots of breeze. Full sail, beautiful.
Nope, not a concern in the world.
Not a concern in the world. And boom, it felt like all our dreams could have shattered in that moment. And everything we had worked for, all the money we had spent, all the sacrifices we had made, all of it could have been gone like that. Well, we made it.
We're here. We're here in Grenada, and we're getting ready to sail to Colombia, which is exciting and terrifying.
Oh my gosh.
It's 800 miles from here, but autopilot's kind of iffy, so it might be hand steering the whole way.
But we're ready.
We're ready to keep moving.
Despite our challenges with running aground, we were now a part of an exclusive culture. Most of the world's wealth is along the coastlines. We have now gained access to every continent on the planet. The possibilities seemed endless. They seemed limitless. But so did the daunting task ahead of us. Running aground really put a new perspective on the whole journey. There was a new serious tone aboard. We took everything very seriously. As we were well aware that it was already late in the season, it was late August, and we had a lot of miles to cover before we got to the Bahamas before hurricane season.
Oh, look who it is. I'm in trouble.
At this point, the dogs are like, what are we doing on this thing? When are we gonna go home? Are we going home again soon? Why is it moving? This is one of many van loads of stuff we moved onto the boat. We were very fortunate that we bought a boat that was within 6 hours because we made 5 or 6 trips full of tools.
Making some tea.
What do you think so far?
Chilling.
There's that face again. What are we doing? Ollie's like, yeah, I guess this is chill. We bought the boat in North Hero, Vermont, and imported it from Canada. We are going to take it down Lake Champlain and the Champlain Canal, exiting out into the Hudson by New York City. This requires passing through, I think, 13 locks. There's about 3 weeks left before everything closes for winter. Dun dun dun!
Good morning, Sophie.
It is warmer today.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was so cold. Got a lot of work to do on this boat.
Yep. Do you love your new boat, hon?
I do. It'll be a labor of love. It would have been so expensive to buy a boat ready to sail around the world. With all the gear and all the stuff, everything fresh. $100,000 probably.
Yeah. We got a good boat. We're happy.
She's an oldie, but she's a goodie.
Yeah.
The owner's a dick.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they threatened to smash out our window because the dogs were in there. The dogs were in there like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And he's like, well, you could have been in jail. Like, you could be thrown in jail. You haven't talked to me, and blah, blah, blah. You got to sign contracts and yada, yada. So, like, it's not really, like, we don't have the paperwork. Like, it's kind of gray area. It's like, we don't really.
Yeah, we can't
We
really.
paid for the boat. We had we already closed.
Did you tell him all that?
Yeah. And but like
What did he say?
it was just a dick. And then I told him, oh, we're planning to circumnavigate. He's like, oh, anybody I've known to start that hasn't made it. So I was like, oh well, I would like to say nice to meet you, but and then he changed his tone a little bit. Because I like told him my adrenaline was rushing, like, tell me you're gonna throw me in jail. And I was like, the headwater, the windows were open, car was not locked, there's no reason to threaten to smash my window in.
Yeah.
So I'm still like a little flustered. It's pretty confrontative. when he really didn't need to be.
No.
So, I don't know. North Hero Marina, Jeff or Jim? Jeff? Dick. And I told him that we had him in the car because we didn't want him in the boat yelping and disturbing everybody. And I told him we were respectful. We've been idling back and forth. We unloaded and, we've been following the signs and the rules.
Good for you.
If he was concerned about us being here, he would have said something.
Right.
So then I was like, oh, well, we're planning to go south as soon as possible. And then he was trying to sell his services, like, we take down so
yeah, of course.
So I was like, we might take it down here
Or you know what?
somewhere else.
On second thought, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe we gotta investigate your friend's dock and get them out of here.
Well,
Dick.
knowing how shallow it is,
Yeah, this is not like.
I kind of doubt my friend's dock is going to be feasible, but who knows. All right, I'm going to stop this and
Just clearing out some energy with some cedar smudge. After getting all fired up from Jimmy Jeff, I decided it was time to clear some energy with some sage. Not only does it kill viruses and bacteria, but it also helps get rid of the boat funk and helps ease anxiety. So there you go, it's scientifically proven that it's beneficial. As long as you don't burn the boat down, of course. Hey!
hey,
Check out all this stuff we're giving away today. Oh! It's going to the good people of Bath, New York. So right now I'm going through artwork. Got about 6 inches of art in here. And this is the burn pile. Stuff that's either pretty dark or not that good. Some of this stuff's marginal, some of them are. I really like this one. This is a map of the Madeline Islands, where my parents first cruised when I was a kid. These were placemats we had for a long time. We sailed along here and then up to there, I think. I don't remember all the islands, but that's definitely a good one. Maybe we can bring that on the boat. Some of it's bright, some of it's great, some of it's really terrible. Art isn't just a means of beauty, it's also create worlds, color, create emotions, create escapes, landscapes, and headspaces. It's very therapeutic for me.
If you like watching people overcome adversity, this is the channel for you because we overcome a lot of shit in the first year especially.
for sure. Even after this episode, there's some like really rough times ahead. Like that running aground was just the start of a lot of challenges to get down. Basically all the way to the Bahamas was challenging. The east coast of the US has its own.
Okay, we're good. Cut.
Is she seaworthy?
Yar, there be oil in the bilge.